What is up, everybody? I got a giant sheep's head on. He's a giant. Looks like the fender in the side of a car. I'm just going to take you over and show you this El Gigantor. Look at the size of them. They love the Ned rig. I'm going to get them unhooked. So I'm on a mid-lake reef. I'm on one finger of it that comes out. I've been sitting here on spot lock. I've moved up and down it a little bit. And I'm just breaking it apart. It's all rock. It goes from about 8 feet up on top all the way down to 28 feet. And there's fish up and down it. What they are, well, they could be walleyes, they could be smallmouth. So I just caught that walleye. I had a big sheep's head earlier. They're all here. All three of those species. That's a Kitech number 2 football jig with a net bait pack-a-craw trailer, black and blue. And all I'm doing is slow dragging and hopping that down there through the rocks. You can feel the contact on that. You can feel the contact as it's bumping those rocks down through. And all of a sudden, it's either heavy or it's just dunk, dunk. There they are. That was a walleye that picked it up. The beautiful bites. It's a lot of fun. It's fairly simple. You're really just dragging it on the bottom. You can do whatever, and they'll find it. I started out with a Ned rig. I've still got another plastic rigged up, and I've got a swim bait rigged up. I just felt like fishing the structure, and I'm just moving along the edge of it. So 9 o'clock. That's my second fish. I've had 2 other light bites that were on and off, and that was it. So 4 bites. So I'm 2 for 4 in an hour and a half. It's a start. What is up, everybody? I'm assuming I have another giant sheep's head on. But let me tell you what. A walleye and even a smallmouth wish they fought like this. We wish they fought like this. And I'll tell you another thing. It was the most perfect jig bite. Oh, he's a giant. It was the most perfect jig bite you'd ever want. It was a straight thump, crack. There he was. Dong, dong, dong. Head shake, a little bit of run. Look at him. Hold on here. See that big bass jig hanging out of his face? Absolutely throttled it. I mean, for the pure game fish ability alone and the ability to catch big ones, quite honestly, the sheep's head is the best game fish we have in this lake, pound for pound. I'm gonna get him unhooked. My arm's killing me. Boy, another thumping bite. Listen to him. Another thumping bite. Another thumping bite on the Ned rig. And another giant drum. Man, I talk about tug. That thing's killing today. I had just finished the drift, or finished the cast. I'm spot locked. I'm out of breath. Man, they tug. It wouldn't have mattered what I caught this morning. For me personally, I wouldn't have kept anything. I wasn't keeping fish today. So it all of a sudden changes things when you're out just here to catch fish. Now, listen, I'm looking for smallmouth and walleyes today on this structure. What I'm finding are really aggressive, hard fighting sheepies. And I'm having a blast. I mean, I'm fishing the JTX 7.1 mag medium light. So I've caught sheepshead today easily up to 10 pounds. So if that was translating into walleyes, let's say I was on on Lake Ontario or the St. Lawrence River, where you could go into the 30-inch class every time you set the hook. Boy, this rod is right. I mean, just a full bend, beautiful hook set, plenty of power, light in the hand, can jig this thing all day. I'm fishing 3/16, 1/8, and 1/4 ounce stuff on this today, and it's so sensitive. I feel every tickle of it. I fished this with 8-pound test Cortland master braid in high vis yellow, because for me, when I finesse fish, I'm watching the line. The line tells you everything: when it moves, when it jumps, when it hits the bottom. Everything you need to know translates in where you can see that line. So I always have high vis line. If that means I have to extend my leaders longer than most, sometimes I'll take a Sharpie marker and I'll darken out, whether I have a brown or a black Sharpie marker, and do 10-15 feet of my braid down by the knot so it is less visible. Whatever, you can do any number of things, but I like to see the line. I learn a lot from my line. And then you associate what your eyes see with what your hand feels when whatever has just happened transmits up the rod to your hand. Now you put the two together. You see what it did. You felt what it did, and that's the key to starting to put together your system, your pattern, your confidence. I feel like this is going to work. I've done it like this now. It has worked like this now. And now you start building on that. That's how you build, whether that's a technique, whether that's anything you do in fishing, doing something, being mindful enough to pay attention to what it is when it works so that you can replicate it. Therein lies sometimes what separates fishermen, good from great, those details in being able to replicate things at certain times in certain places. I remember I did well at this time of year, in this type of situation, in this time of weather, and you go back there and you do the same thing again in that same kind of area, and it works, and now that's a pattern. So now you tuck that away. I know that during this time of the year, when these situations happen, I can go there and do this for this. And that sounds long-winded, but you start plugging in your own variables, and now you have something that's repeatable and it's written down, and for you it becomes set in stone. So then you have confidence in it, and you see how that momentum starts to build. That's fishing momentum, that's life momentum, that's momentum. And momentum moves you forward. If not, it would be called retreat. It's not. And so moving forward is always good, and remembering what you're doing in that time of year. Where you get them in May may be different than where you get them in July. It doesn't have to be, depends on what you're doing, but things will have changed, and if you can commit certain things to memories, that's when you start putting your fishing book together. And you can have a fishing book for general things, and you can have them specific to a body of water, specific to a technique, totally up to you. It's your book. You can write it however you want. But being able to remember those things. And listen, we use our phones for a lot of stuff. Use it for like your notes section. Make notes in your phone that you'll always have with you. And you go, oh, geez, I'm struggling today. Let me look back. And, oh, geez, end of July on a night of last year, I was up fishing the reefs real shallow and snap jigging. I was catching tons of walleyes in there. Hey, I'm going to go back and try that again. I remember that spot. And I'm going to repeat what I did. And lo and behold, I did it again and I caught him again. Wow. Now I've just tucked something into my pocket. So now I know when I'm sitting at home and contemplating where I want to go and what I want to do, I can think back to the different things that I have for that, like in my Rolodex for this time of year. So it's cool. It's cool, and that's how you start putting together your own patterns. And how you get there is totally up to you. All right, everybody, what is up? I just had a little flurry. Another freaking giant sheep's head. Had so much fun today with these sheep's head. I can't even tell you. And then this last cast, this Ned rig, everything right now, it's clear, glass, sunny day. I'm up on the top of this crown on a reef. It's 19 feet on top. It's 32 all around it at the base. And I'm throwing this little guy around. And, you know, there's nothing to be intimidated by. And there's no wrong way to do it. I don't care what you're doing. You put something in the water, it stands a chance to get bit, even if it's the 1 in a millionth, chance. But you get it down to the bottom. You have the patience to let it sink. That's the big key, and to not start doing anything until it's down there on the bottom. And then you make it look like it's injured, whatever, crawling across the bottom. Boy, they're throttling it. This is a lot of fun. This is a jig fisherman's delight, because you have no idea when you set the hook what it is. Could easily be walleye, smallmouth, sheep's head, perch, sunfish, quite a few things it could be. It's a lot of fun. Stay tuned. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining me today. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I've got a sore right arm, and we caught a bunch of fish today. I stayed in one spot. I fished a rocky mid-lake reef. On the windward side of it, what little breeze we have, I'm on the side where that's pushing onto the structure. And bright sunny skies. I've been catching fish all day. Now most of them have been sheep's head. I've had, I gotta think, 8 or 9 sheepies today. And what a delight. It was so much fun. I fished a Ned rig and a football head with a craw bait on it. I was using 2 different kinds. I had a Kitech number 2 football jig, black and blue, dressed with a black and blue packer craw. And then I had a plain Kitech, they're tungsten. One was a 1/4 ounce, one was a 3/8 ounce football jig head. And then the second version, I had a green pumpkin with a green metallic sparkle flake Berkeley power bait chigger craw on it, bare. And those presentations with the football head, I was dragging them on the bottom fast enough to where I could still feel the tick of the rocks as I went along. I didn't want to go so slow that it would stick down in there. I did lose a couple baits today in the rocks. That's part of it when you're fishing in them. Because they do everything gets chafed and you got to be checking leaders. But really my predominant bait was the Ned rig. Just a straight Z-Man, the regular size TRD in green pumpkin with a 3/16 ounce Ned head on it. And I was pitching that out. I didn't have any hole-in-ones where they hit it on the initial fall, but I was like, I would crack a tube, I would snap it up like this, and it swings down like this to the bottom. And then I'd pop it back up, and you'd feel them hit it on the way down. Tunk. And some of these sheep's head were just such a picture-perfect jig bite. You could have closed your eyes and pretended it was anything in the world you wanted to catch on a jig. It was that hard dunk, and you had the time to take your slack up and come up and set them, and they were solid when you set the hook, and they'd give you a little bit of a run, peel a little drag. They're so much fun, just for the sake of being fun. Had a great day. I hope you enjoy your Sunday fun day. It is a beautiful July weekend. Next weekend's Harbor Fest. That's usually the last weekend in July. Summer's going fast, so make sure you do everything you can to catch it right by the tail and hold on to it. You're going to want to remember that come December, January, February. So have a great one. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Keep your tip up.